Hey everybody, and welcome to Retro Horror Presents Retro in Review. Basically, this is going to be a little bi-weekly show where I talk about old horror movies versus new, like remakes specifically. Like, as you can see on the screen right now, today we're talking about uh, Nightmare on Elm Street, the original and the remake. I I feel like the new movie it tried recapturing that old love we had for the original, but it fell short. Like it had the same premise, kids dying in their dreams, people wanting to hide what really happened, but the new one didn't capture that original feeling. It fell short. Like, we have Robert Englund, the original Freddy, an amazing Freddy Krueger. Like you felt the terror. There was a build up. There was a lot more in the original movies. Like they built up and designed it so it would last for decades, and it still holds up today. The original Freddy Krueger does. The original Nightmare on Elm Street. I went through and I rewatched the original series again. They hold up really well. They still have that feel to it, that gut wrenching horror that even though if you can rewatch it multiple times while the kids discover who Freddy really was, they don't lean too much into certain aspects of who Freddy was, but just that he came back and he wants revenge. The new one, I felt, yeah, he comes back, he wants revenge. The kids discover the parents are right, the secret room and the kindergarten, things like that. In the new one, I feel like it took something away from the movie for me. It didn't have that same guttural feel. Like in the original Freddy, original Nightmare on Elm Street, you had a feeling with Freddy. Like you cared about the villain being the villain. He was a good villain. He was a good antagonist. There was a bit of humor to it. Robert Englund really just knocked it out of the park. I barely remember. I watched the new one before doing this recording. I barely felt anything towards it. Like I was honestly watching the new one, the remake from 10. I was playing on my Switch. After 10 minutes into the movie, I went and made coffee while listening to it. I just didn't feel like I wasn't drawn in. Whereas the original movies, the original Nightmare on Elm Street, it really pulled me in. It made me care about the people in the movie. And also, I mean, there was an entire franchise built off of it. You knew what to expect in Nightmare on Elm Street movie. We came in with an expectation about the movie. And unfortunately, the remake of Nightmare on Elm Street doesn't fill that expectation. It doesn't fill that feeling of we're going to be getting a scary movie. We're going to be getting something that gave us nightmares as children. This was kind of, I feel, fell short. So, these aren't going to be super long videos. I should mention these are going to be probably 5-10 minutes at most. While I just give it a thought on remake versus original, and I'm going to rate these out of spooks. The original Nightmare on Elm Street, I'd give that 10 out of 10 spooks. Gave me nightmares as a kid. The remake, I'd say it gets 4 out of 10 spooks. It doesn't hold up. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and hearing me rant about horror movies. This has been your host, Callum Hale. As always, going to be getting back to playing some Fatal Frame soon, playing the spooks so you don't have to. Remember to hydrate, medicate if you have to, eat some good food, and be kind to each other, folks. A bit of kindness goes a long way. And as always, stay spooky. Love you guys. See you in the next episode in 2 weeks, where we're going to be reviewing Evil Dead. They're